That arrest had nothing to do with me. He should have been arrested years ago. You could have been arrested because of you could have arrested him. You decided not to.
For what? For what? For what? For what? For what?
The following audit takes place 2 days after and is essentially the second part to a previous audit video of myself, a local of Greater Manchester Police's West Didsbury station, attempting to get in touch with several officers for an explanation as to why one of the 150 racial harassment incidents that I experienced and reported over the past 3.5 years was closed. Unfortunately, whilst editing this video, several things occurred which make the incidents that occur in this video a lot more concerning to myself and should be of greater concern to you, the public, as to how Greater Manchester Police chooses to exercise and abuse their powers in order to silence and intimidate members of the public who choose to speak out against them. On 21st of November, I received a call from Manchester City Council's Adult Safeguarding Service, completely out of the blue, and was informed that I had been referred to them by Greater Manchester Police and in particular by a PC Kirkham, collar number 05319, an officer whom I have never met before that claimed that I had given consent to have my details passed on to them, which is of course a lie. This, I felt, was a direct attempt at intimidating me, seeing as how this call took place the morning after the first part of my audit had been uploaded on 20th of November. Furthermore, on the afternoon of the 22nd of November, I noticed a couple comments that raised my suspicions even more. The first being made by a "Scope hit my eye" that read, "Sectioned soon, seek help." My suspicion is that this comment was left either by PC Kirkham 05319 or a Sergeant Mullins, collar number 16274, who you will see later on in this video. After making a complaint on 101 stating my concerns about PC Kirkham and the comment left on the video, I was then called back by Sergeant Mullins, who again, before this audit took place, I had never met before or even spoken to. I then inquired if the comment on my YouTube video was left by PC Kirkham or if the person in question was a friend of his. Sergeant Mullins replied coyly with a, "Well, anything's possible, isn't it?" I believe that this comment was conclusive enough that it was made by either of these two officers, as every member of the police that I have ever met with has been quite blunt in their response, with either a yes or a no answer. Yes, we're closing this case. No, there's no crime that has taken place. It's never a, well, anything's possible, even us infringing on your human rights and breaking the law, isn't it? I then replied to Sergeant Mullins, "I know nothing's impossible. Do you know how I know nothing's impossible? Because somehow you made it as a sergeant." Sergeant Mullins then chuckled, "Haha, well, I'm going to close this case now. You've not got any evidence, and I won't have you insult a police officer over the phone. Goodbye." He then put the phone down. Had you not been so abrupt to put the phone down, you would have heard my response, Sergeant. Next time, I will be more careful when choosing my words. Just remember to let me know there's an actual police officer on the phone with you. The second YouTube comment that struck me was made by a Jim Wilson. I have never met a Jim Wilson. However, my suspicion was this was a member of the public and not a police officer. This is what was written. "Obviously not handling in right way. Not having a case number or a specific officer to deal with after 3.5 years says your communication is arbitrary at best. Aimlessly turning up to a police station with no appointment. Talking to police or staff who have no clue what you're on about is clueless. Make an appointment, FFS." The The reason I believe that this was left by a member of the public is because no member of Greater Manchester Police even knows what an appointment is. Aside from the crimes that they ignore, they will show up days, sometimes weeks after the crime has taken place, without a phone call in advance, appointment being scheduled, and at any time that they feel is convenient to them, whether it be 9 p.m, 10 p.m, 11 p.m, or the actual one time an officer showed up at my door at 3 a.m. in the morning. FFS indeed. Absolutely no member of the public should feel any sympathy for members of the police for not having enough time to deal with complaints. You show up to our homes at a time of your convenience to breach our rights and then demand respect from us, and then you have the audacity to tell us, if you want to speak to us, make an appointment. We, members of the public, pay for your services, your uniforms, the buildings where you work, and for the cars that you drive to protect us whenever we need it. We therefore have every right under the sun to show up to your place of work and demand to be seen at any given time of the day when you fail us.
Okay, I'm back to visit the police station. It is roughly 6:40 a.m. on the Wednesday. I forgot what the date is. I think it's the 15th. So I decided I would arrive early, hence why it's 6:40. And I know that PC Evans comes on duty at 7, so he might arrive early. However, I don't know whether he's going to be available after 7, so hence why I've decided to come before he's on duty, so that, you know, potentially I can bump into him. Yellow telephone. Hopefully it is working. Okay. Roughly pre-arrange appointment or meeting. Well, press number 2 because I've not pre-arranged an appointment necessarily. And it's been forwarded to a voicemail system, and the voicemail box is busy, so transferring to an attendant. That box is always full, isn't it? Let's have a look. Somebody's arriving. It says please try again, and they've hung up on me. Well, I don't need to see that person's mailbox. It says please enter the password for your mailbox, which I don't need. Right, number 1 it is then. Hello, I've come to speak to a PC Evans. I know that he's on shift today, so I'm just standing outside to see if he's available. I don't have his collar number available, but he's part of the neighbourhood team. He isn't, but I know that he's on duty, and he's been ignoring me for a few months now. Who's the sergeant? Sergeant Gibb. Okay. Could you let them know that I'm here and I'm waiting outside on the brown bench because and it is quite cold. I have a bit of a sore throat, so if you could hurry a little. Yeah. Well, I just told you they refuse to show up to appointments, so. You've got enough context there. Just apologise for how I feel and that's it. Wow. Couldn't even be compassionate. Well done. All he had to do was answer a phone and seem like he cares. He answered the phone. Doesn't seem like he cares though. As you can see, lights are on. Nobody's coming. From what I've been told, the briefing is occurring right now as we speak, so it might be 15 minutes before, at least before I get to speak to anybody. I asked if he could hurry it a bit because it is freezing, it's wet and it's cold, and you know, I don't expect they'll be rushing to do their job. And you can see there's some lights on, but whether anybody's inside is yet to be seen. So as police have been arriving, I've noticed that the security, the number machine is out there in the open, and they've been pinning in their key code right in the public. So I have seen, unfortunately, the number code for the building. Obviously, I'm not going to use it or film it, but that is a massive security breach. And now there is an officer coming potentially to see me. Hello? Yes? Are you...
speak to PC Evans?
Yes, that's me. I've come early because I wasn't sure whether he would be on shift. Who are you?
I'm his sergeant.
Sergeant Gibb?
That's it.
Yes, so basically, I just wanted to...
Is it?
Yes. I came early this week to speak to your PC because, quite frankly, I'm sick of being ignored by him and the entire neighbourhood team. It's been ongoing for 3.5 years. I've been being racially abused, harassed, stalked, threatened with death threats, gang
I'm aware of the
executions.
incident. Go on.
No, I'll continue. I've been spat at. I had banana skins thrown in my recycling bins. You can look away. It's quite rude.
I'm looking to see who the car is actually.
To be honest with you, I just wanted to know what happened to the last few incidents that PC Evans was supposed to be dealing with in regards to who was racially harassing me for 3.5 years, as I said.
Yeah.
I unfortunately...
Which he was sentenced for.
Yes, but not for that. Not for those incidents.
He was sentenced for a racially aggravated public order offence against you.
Oh, was he? Well,
Yeah.
that's the first time I've been officially made aware of that. Thank you. That's almost 3 weeks later. Thank you for that.
Right.
So...
The sentencing was several weeks ago. You went to the sentencing with...
No, I wasn't. No, I know I didn't.
Right.
It had nothing to do with me, the sentencing. The sentencing was to do with another neighbour who he was racially terrorising. So, that was the day after also that PC Evans visited. So, PC Evans was speaking to outside my home for about 45 minutes. During that 45 minutes, it seemed that he was quite empathetic towards who he had just seen video evidence of racially harassing myself. I can tell by the look on your face that you can tell that's not a good thing, is it? But to be honest, it doesn't surprise me.
In terms of him being empathetic,
Well,
Just divulge a bit further.
if you're standing outside with somebody for 45 minutes and you seem to be nodding and smiling politely, that seems to be empathetic. That's more than I'm receiving from you right now, for example.
I would argue it's a police officer being impartial and having to take both sides of every story, but
That's not impartiality. I think that you need to look up the definition of impartiality, because impartiality is out the window when you've seen evidence. So are you recording?
I am.
Yeah, you should have told me that straight away.
I don't need to.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's part of your code of conduct, mate.
It's not.
It's
flashing red. It says audio and video recording.
I'm colourblind. So how would I know then? I'm partially deaf as well. How would I know then?
You got your headphones in and you're speaking to me just fine. So.
Taken via gmp.police.uk. If the recording has commenced prior to arrival at the scene of an incident, the user should, as soon as is practicable, announce to those persons present at the incident that recording is taking place and that actions and sounds are being recorded. Specific words for this announcement have not been prescribed, but users should use straightforward speech that can be easily understood by those present, such as, "I am wearing a body-worn video camera which is recording what we say and do."
The special
Can I just get to the crux
headphones.
of the matter as to why you're here today?
Yes,
Is it just to speak to PC Evans?
to speak to PC Evans to find out what happened with those cases, why he wasn't charged, what he was speaking to him about for 45 minutes outside my home the day before he's arrested, and what possible action you're going to be taking against him, who has also been stalking and harassing me.
Right. This has been going on for 3 years.
3.5 years.
3.5 years.
Yes.
You're aware that no longer lives next door to you.
Yes, and his mother has been stalking me and harassing
that
me.
has come as a result of the police action we've been doing for the last few years.
No, you've not been doing much. You've not done anything for me for the past 3.5 years. This happened. The reason that he was arrested, the reason. No, I don't need to let you talk.
Me, I'm going to go back
Oh,
inside and we'll
Diddums,
supervise.
I'll let you talk. Go on, mate.
No,
No. Yeah, you're pathetic. Go on, do the walk of shame. Walk of shame. This is a sergeant. This is a public servant who's walking away from me. I've been harassed for 3.5 years, and they've done nothing for me. That's Sergeant Gibb. You're pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. So, going back to the phone, because I still don't know what is being done about that crime. Sergeant Gibb has just essentially ignored me. Right. To speak to someone at your nearest counter doesn't work, so I guess I'll go to number 1 again. Right, so just been on the phone. The phone says we are busy because we are currently out on patrol. As you can see, complete ghost town. Nobody is around. No police cars are leaving. They're all inside that building, ignoring me. I'm the only one outside here. They've clearly cut the phone off, so I can't use it, and that is actually illegal. Because that phone is public property, this building is public property, I'm the public, I should be entitled to that service. Doesn't matter what is happening inside, what is happening outside. To deny somebody public service is illegal.
Via legislation.gov.uk, Equality Act 2010, Public Sector Equality Duty. A public authority must, in the exercise of its functions, have due regard to the need to eliminate discrimination, harassment, victimization, and any other conduct that is prohibited by or under this Act, advance equality of opportunity between persons who share a relevant protected characteristic and persons who do not share it, foster good relations between persons who share a relevant protected characteristic and persons who do not share it.
So I've currently been standing outside for about 10-15 minutes. It's roughly 7:15. What was I going to say? Yeah, I think I'm just going to check that phone again to see if it's actually answering. It probably won't though. Right, let's try again. It rang for a bit and it went back to voicemail. They're clearly watching. They clearly don't want to speak to me. And it is quite disgusting that they don't want to do that. It's now 7:20. I think I've been here for 40 minutes. I've only spoken to Sergeant Gibb. PC Evans still hasn't come outside. I've spoken to his sergeant. His sergeant has tried to brush me away and acted very coldly and with as much compassion as I've received over the past 3.5 years. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Sergeant Gibb was a sociopath. The way that he just behaved was sociopathically. He's just without emotion, without regard for the people he's supposed to be protecting. I feel like what is even the point of this? So I'm waiting outside. Suddenly I've just been looking up at these windows here and I'm pretty sure I heard a female, potentially a female officer, cackling. Nothing surprising. Just clearly the attitude of them, of the police. They just don't care. They see the public as a joke. And me standing outside demanding my rights and my life back, I've kind of had enough. I've had enough of it all. Nobody's coming out. I've been waiting a while. Just gonna see if I'm struggling with my umbrella. Excuse me, should you be blocking the phone with your ladder?
There you go, my friend.
Right. No apology. I'm not your friend either. Oh, let's drop your phone. So, can't believe that he just left his ladder lying on top of the phone. This is still ongoing. My battle with this phone not being answered. So I pressed number 1 several times to speak to somebody. They let it dial and then it goes to voicemail. I guess I'll just have to wait until somebody comes out now to speak to them. The time is 7:44. I am still waiting outside. It's been over an hour, obviously. A couple of officers has gone by. I've asked them to speak to PC Evans and asked him to potentially come outside to speak to myself. Could you ask for PC Evans?
What's that, sorry?
PC Evans, neighbourhood team.
I can... Do you know his first name at all?
They don't give it.
Sorry, mate, I won't be able to... I don't work in that section.
It's right over there. It's right over there. You turn right behind the brown door.
I'll ask around.
It's the only way I have, because the yellow phone man refuses to answer. I thought I'd take you around for a tour of the neighbouring area. Since nobody is coming outside, I don't want to let that exit over there out of my eye, because because I know that they might try and sneak out whilst I am out of view. That's not going to happen. So I will keep the corner of my eye on it. So basically this is Elizabeth Singer Road. Elizabeth Slinger. Sorry. That is Withington Hospital over there. I actually was born in that hospital over there. You wouldn't think it because of the way that I've been treated by this lot over here. But this is Manchester, obviously, and it's been my home for almost my whole life, and it is a big city as well. And you'd think by me saying that those people over there failed me, but I was born over here, that it is actually a small city, but it's not. It just happens to be around the corner. But I get treated like a foreigner because of the colour of, well, as you can see, I'm quite pale. I'm a pale Asian man. And you know, a lot of Asians say that, you know, you come across as not an Apna but a Gora, which is a white person, because I'm so pale and I speak the way that I speak. And but it has nothing to do with that. It's just the way that I was. It's just the way that I was brought up. I was brought up well. I was brought up to speak English properly. I wonder if anybody's up there. But yeah, I am actually from here, yet I get treated like a foreigner because of my name and my race, and because the police can't tell the difference between an enemy and somebody who is just standing up for their human rights. And now there's a lad staring at me with a in his squad car. You got a job to do. Hang about. There is somebody. Ah. Are you from the neighbourhood team?
What's that, sorry?
Neighbourhood team.
The neighbourhood team, who's it you're after?
PC Evans. Have I spoken to you before?
No, never.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here to speak to PC Evans.
Right. Have you got an appointment?
I don't, but I know he's working here.
Okay.
If you could just step back a little bit.
Yeah, so how do you know he's on duty today?
I came here on Monday, asking to speak to him because, quite frankly, I feel a bit ignored by the neighbourhood team. It's quite serious. I've been racially abused for about 3.5 years. Quite frankly, I feel ignored and let down by the neighbourhood team. I've just spoken to Sergeant Gibb. Ah, here he is, PC Evans. He's beckoning me over.
Okay, if you want to go and have a chat with him.
Yeah. After you.
No, after you, mate.
I don't want to feel surrounded. If
No,
you could
fine.
just.
You're not surrounded, mate.
I tell you what, I'll go around the car, please.
Go around the garden, mate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, not really.
So,
What's up? What's up is that I feel like I'm being ignored by you.
well, the officer in your case now is PC 19399 Berry.
Barry.
Yeah.
Right. I saw PC Barry last week.
Yeah.
He came to investigate the concern I had over the stalking incident with.
Yeah.
He's decided to close the case, even though he was quite confident he was going to make an arrest. So he's turned around and closed the case without telling me why.
Not according to this. According to this, he's getting some CCTV footage from. He's told me.
Can I have that?
No,
Why?
it's mine.
It's yours.
Please, it's got more
It's
stuff
about
on
me
it.
though.
It's got other things on it as well.
To be honest, I don't like this. I don't like how when I phoned up 101, they said that the case has been closed pending no further action.
I just
You've
checked
got
just now.
you've got something there that you're refusing to give
It's
me.
got other people's details on there that I can't give you, unfortunately. Other things are on there. I can't give you that document. I'm doing about 8 things upstairs.
You're doing about 8 things downstairs. You realise I've been waiting out here for over an hour and a half.
You need to make an appointment. You can't just turn up at the police station asking to speak to someone. So that's why he's been waiting for an hour, is the fact that you've not made an appointment to speak to PC Evans.
I was
Ben
here.
spoke, didn't you? Did Ben speak to you, Sergeant Gibb?
Yes, I spoke to Sergeant Gibb. He was quite arrogant.
He told me.
He was quite arrogant. He didn't seem compassionate at all. Quite frankly, none of you do. 3.5 years, when I say that, it doesn't seem to register with you what exactly that means. 150 incidents of racial harassment and abuse. Do you understand the mountainous of violation against human rights that you have helped commit?
But he's been charged and convicted at court.
Not because of me, because of somebody else.
One of them
I'm learning this now. I'm learning this now. Why are you telling me this now? You can understand why I'm...
Listen to me. Listen to me.
I am listening to you. I'm listening to the crap that's coming out of your mouth. Go on. Why has he been charged? Go on.
Right, he got charged with your offence and convicted at court, yes or no?
When?
Is it in May or June?
That has nothing to do with this.
This new case has nothing to do with you. It's another victim.
Yeah, exactly.
Not you.
What happened to the evidence that I showed you? Why did you go outside and speak to him for 45 minutes after you've seen footage of him racially harassing me?
He did me what to speak to me about other things, right? So I
Right.
spoke to him.
And you
But
stood
then,
there,
listen to-
behaving
you're
more
gonna
more
shout at me.
compassionately
You're gonna
towards
shout
a
at me.
racist man
You're gonna
for 45 minutes. You stood there,
Listen to me.
nodded at him,
Listen.
politely smiled at him. You have not done that once when you've spoken to me, though, have
been to
you?
your house loads of
None of
times,
you
isn't it?
have.
Oh, so all the time I come and spoke to your house, that was no good, was it then, when I spoke to you at your house?
No,
No.
it wasn't, because you turned around, you've ignored me. 3 weeks, I've been waiting to hear what you were going to do about those 3 incidents.
My involvement with you has been dealt with now.
No, it hasn't. You have not closed those cases.
PC
You were supposed to investigate those. How dare you stand outside a police station and lie to me? You are a public servant. How dare you?
You've been spoken to. I've spoke to you about it.
No, you haven't.
I have.
You are a liar. You are a liar. You are a liar.
He's here, taking time out of his day.
Oh, poor him.
He's taking his time out of his day to speak to you now. You've not had...
Poor him. 3.5 years I've wasted. 3.5 years of my life has gone by.
Okay,
it's
he's
been
here
dealt with.
speaking to you now.
No, it hasn't.
He's trying to give you what you're asking for, okay? You're asking for an update. That is what he's providing you with now, okay? If you don't like...
3 weeks later, I had to come to your police station. I had to wake up early. I had to come here dead early to speak to you because I knew you would try and ignore me again.
No one's ignoring you. PC Matthews told me he'd spoken to you.
PC Matthews, I don't even know who that is. You're just making up names now. No, he hasn't spoken to me. He's spoken to the neighbour. That arrest had nothing to do with me. He should have been arrested years ago. You could have been arrested because of you could have arrested him. You decided not to.
For what? 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 For what?
You decided to stand outside and go, yeah, oh, yep, always.
Talk to me about something else. It doesn't matter, does it? But at the end of the day,
You spoke to him about something else. Speak to him about something else. So you're obviously showing a bias. You're obviously showing a bias. Well, then you'd be committing a felony by ignoring a crime. You've already done that plenty of times. You've already violated rights. I don't even know who you are. You can go away. This has nothing to do with you. No, you two can go away. You don't go anywhere.
you just stood there berating me, right?
You deserve to be berated. You're a bunch of sociopaths. You shouldn't be police officers. You shouldn't be defending the public. Tell me your collar numbers. What are your collar numbers' name? What's your name? What's your name?
15873 Sergeant Phillips.
Right.
Right, listen. He's been charged with your offence. That's been
No, he
dealt- that's been
hasn't. No, he hasn't.
dealt with.
You ignored it.
No.
You
The previous-
ignored it.
The previous incident. Charged and convicted at court. Yes, done. The next one, your victim, he's been to court for that, right? He was charged, went to court.
Yeah, but not for the crimes that he's committed against me. I know that you lot have probably blacklisted me. You lot have probably blacklisted me. You've refused my human rights, refused Equality Act 2010. You are criminals.
Everything that you want to happen, right? He's been charged, convicted. He's even moved from the address. He can't even come to that street anymore.
His mother's stalking me. So tell me, why is his mother stalking me? PC Berry was supposed to investigate. He closed it. You have a piece of paper there with a bunch of lies, not refusing to show it.
I'm going to walk away. The crime is still open, right? He's trying to find some CCTV footage. That's what's happening with the crime. He will update you when that's been done. That's all I can say.
Why? Well, why didn't he tell me that? Why didn't he tell me that? Why has he gone on leave for a week? Why has he gone for a leave for a week? Oh, are they allowed to? What? So I'm allowed to be racially harassed in my own house for 3.5 years? How do you think I feel?
And the officer
it's been dealt with.
We're getting CCTV footage for it.
Oh, yeah. He could have done that on Friday. He was supposed to do that on Friday.
At the end of the day, you're shouting your attitude stinks, you stink, you stink, you stink. So we're going in, I'm not prepared to.
Your attitude stinks. You're a flipping sociopath, mate. You show no empathy towards the public. You're public servants. You've got no right to be wearing those uniforms. You're disgraceful. I hope for a day where people like you would never make it as police officers. You're not police officers. You're a bunch of clowns.
As you've been told, we're waiting for CCTV footage.
Yeah, on Friday. He should have received it on Friday, and he closed that log. You're a bunch of liars. Liars. Disgraceful. Go and do your walk of shame. Disgraceful.
It was very difficult to watch back this footage of myself getting worked up to the point of becoming emotionally overwhelmed. But I want you to understand that I have lived next door to an individual who has made my life a living nightmare. An individual who was charged twice with hate crimes and has inflicted an enormous amount of damage to my life, along with his friends and family who continue this behaviour to this day. And these people, these so-called police, have and still look the other way. To be told that I have to show them respect, them deny closing cases that they should actively be looking into, and then them tell me that my attitude stinks. It's not just pouring salt into the wounds, it's pouring gasoline and lighting a match to go with it. It hurts, burns, and hopefully I have shown you what it has felt like for me being refused my human rights since July of 2020. Now I know that the police will be watching this video, so to them I would like to remind them of the following. In 1829, Robert Peel invented what would become the modern British police, with the notion in mind that the police are the public and the public are the police. You are essentially a citizen in uniform. You are not a private institution or an elite establishment of sophisticated warriors or arbiters of the law deciding which legal laws you want to enforce, with what powers, on what given day, depending on your mood. The world that you are supposed to selflessly protect in and outside of uniform is the world both you and I share. That means, should you decide to ignore human rights and your own legal and ethical duties, it is your own world that grows a shade darker. Is this the world that you want the next generation, your children, family, loved ones to inherit? One last thing. This badge that a lot of you police wear, it is called the thin blue line. Some of you are under the notion that this badge represents the dwindling numbers of a force brought to the brink by budget cuts that is ever being enveloped into darkness. Yeah, it doesn't though, does it? It actually is a version of the American symbol of the thin blue line badge created by the far-right nationalists of the Blue Lives Matter organization to demonstrate that the police are the order that prevents the world descending into chaos. Scope hit my eye, PC Kirkham, or Sergeant Mullins might be able to tell you more. I mean, he is literally wearing one here. Also, Sergeant Mullins, pull up your sleeves. It is part of your uniform code not to have tattoos on display. I don't make the rules, you do, I just remind you of them. The point is, wearing a badge that emphasises your own seeing yourself as an establishment unto yourself is not the right perception you want to be giving to the public. It says this in the first page of the Code of Ethics, which I'll leave a link in the description for you. Again, you are us and we are you. If there is one rule you should always remember, it is 4.1.7 in the National Decision Model of the Code of Ethics. Again, link to this is in the description below. It states, you are not expected to know the Code of Ethics word for word. What is expected is that you apply the intent of the code to your decisions and ask yourself questions such as, would I be prepared to defend this action or decision in public? The fact that you, PC Evans, Sergeant Phillips and Sergeant Mullins inflamed this situation and then walked away means that you have categorically failed at delivering your duties. However, I am a man of giving chances. I've given you 150 chances so far, 151 if you include this incident. Tomorrow is another day. You can admit your faults and change, or we can continue this dance until the world does plunge into darkness. So, what will it be?